acknowledge all the elected officials, clergy, and white construction customers first and foremost. Because without you, we could not have done this amazing feat of 25 years. When I initially mentioned this to Bernard to celebrate 25 years, he gave me that normal sly look and like, Mike, you can beat it. But I said, no, we got to do this because this is significant. I want to ask Bernard to step to the podium. You're going to hear from him in a little while, but I want him to step up because we're going to do some special presentations. We have several people that we want to mention tonight. One of them is Harvey Hollins, and Harvey is with the Governor's Office. Harvey serves as a director of the Governor's Office of Urban and Metropolitan Initiatives. Harvey, if you can make your way to the front. We have Corey, and I'm going to get this right, Wolford. She is with she's a senior congressional liaison for Gary Peters' office. Melvin Bush Hollowell, who's with the Office of Mayor Duggan, and he's going to present something to Bernard. We have Jewel Ware, who is the Wayne County Commissioner for District 2. Jewel, if you can make it to the front. And Dr. Verinder Magdu, who is the President and CEO of Lawrence Technological University. Let's give it up for these people who are going to acknowledge. Before I welcome Harvey up to the podium, I just want to say that normally we don't celebrate folks until they're gone. At funerals, it's something that they've already gone and they can't enjoy their flowers. I think this is indicative of giving somebody their flowers while they're here. And we need to do that for all of us because that's really what it's about. Not when you're in a box and gone, but when you're here, you can still celebrate them for their accomplishments. And it's great acknowledging Bernard and his accomplishments and for the company. So with that, I'm going to invite Harvey to the podium for our first presentation. Harvey.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
You all can do better than that. Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, before I read this resolution that I want to read from the governor, I'm going to read the whole thing. I'll read a portion of it. I just want to say it's an honor to actually be here to celebrate 25 years. This is for an African-American firm to be in the industry that you're in. It hasn't been a bed of roses. It hasn't been easy. And you've done it, and you've keep doing it. So I'm really proud to be here to celebrate this with you. There's a resolution, a tribute from the state. On behalf of the people of the state of Michigan, White Construction 25th anniversary, let it be known that it is my distinct honor to recognize Mr. Bernard White, founder and president of White Construction, and join in celebrating the company's 25th anniversary. Since its inception 25 years ago, White Construction has developed a full-service construction management firm, contributing numerous landmarks throughout the city of Detroit. With the mission of constructing provision in mind, White Construction has provided reliable products and services that its customers have come to rely on and trust. On behalf of the state of Michigan, I would like to congratulate White Construction on the 25th anniversary. It's not every day that a company celebrates such a milestone, and you and your staff and affiliates should be proud of this accomplishment. A special tribute, therefore, the document is signed by Governor Rick Snyder on this day. So thank you again for the successful service.
Next up, we have Corey Wolford, who's a senior congressional liaison for Congressman Gary Peters' office. Corey.
Thank you once again. I join with my friends on the state level, on the city level, and representing the federal level. I have a letter here directly from Congressmember Gary Peters. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us this evening. Right now, as we speak, he's in the air flying home from Washington, D.C. But I came just to present a letter and a tribute monumenting 25 years of service within the Detroit community. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with all the awards and all the accolades that this organization and this business has accomplished over the years, but I just want to say that one thing that we did want to highlight in the letter is that White Construction was ranked as the 18th largest African-American owned business in Detroit, of more than 32,000 operating in the city by Crain's Magazine. It's also in the nation's top 100 according to Black Enterprise magazine. In addition to the company's incredible growth, White Construction has received awards and recognitions from numerous organizations, including Court Magazine, the Detroit Regional Chamber, Michigan Minority Business Development Council, and the Engineering Society of Detroit. So once again, it is our pleasure to congratulate you, the employees of White Construction, on the significant impact that you have made in our Detroit community. We wish you much continued success and another 25 years of business.
This is a commercial now, but one of the things we will not hear on any of these resolutions is anybody acknowledging Bernard as a great marimba player. I don't know if all of you all know this, but he is a starving artist attempting to follow Stevie Wonder's footsteps. And one day we're having dinner, and whenever you're at his house and he has you like where you can't go anywhere, he pulls out this marimba. And you have to sit there and listen to this marimba, and it's hideous. But you laugh, and you say you're getting better, knowing that he's a sick of the construction business. So, anyway, I'm going to bring up Melvin Bush Hollowell, Office of Mayor Duncan.
Charlie Beckham joined me here. Everybody knows Charlie Beckham, the Don, head of the Department of Neighborhoods, the Don. So we're both, yes. So, I think I've got something in here. Here it is. You know, we're at the Namdi Gallery, so I was looking at the Metro Times this past week, and I've loved the Namdis. I know this is about you, Bernard, but I've loved them for a long time. Carmen Namdi and George started Nataki Taliba, where our kids went, and you know, he's right here. But he said something that I thought was incredibly important. And here to just read you this quote, because it applies to Bernard. He says, I just started thinking about all the things that are happening in our city and how a lot of people are talking about gentrification. It's not like your traditional gentrification where you're physically uprooting people because we have so much vacant property here, and we're happy to have people occupy the property. What's more important, though, is what's happening with psychological gentrification. It's how things are planned. Part of Detroit is having this urban soul, and a lot of times it's like throwing out the baby with the wash, in a way. By losing that energy, you lose your sense of having input into their environment. Detroiters take a lot of responsibility in their environment. We don't want it to change, where they begin to feel like it's not their city. That's what I mean by psychological gentrification. You go into places, you're not seeing yourself as often, the different types of businesses that may be coming in, they may not be catering to you. I think that having that total input is very important. People really love this city, and they want to be part of the city and any development. In speaking with the African American community here, this is applicable to all the different communities, it's that you always have a sense of self and a sense of importance as part of Detroit. If too much is done to give you the illusion or the sense that it's not yours any longer, then you begin to have the feeling of being left out. So I started to think about that, and I thought about Bernard White. And I asked him, I said, you know, what are you, we're at 25 years, what are you the most proud of? And he says, you know, I've been around for 25 years, ain't nobody mad at me, ain't nobody bills, I'm involved in all these iconic projects. I mean, you just look at that wall and you see the port and Kobo and schools that he's done and all these great projects. But he said, the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that my son and my nephew are going to follow me into that business. And so when you look at that, this is a guy, I've known him for a long time. This is a guy that's always doing this, always trying to pull somebody with it, always trying to do that. That's what, as Detroit gets moved forward, that's what's going to make us whole. That's what's, as Namdi said, that's what's going to keep our soul, our urban soul. And so I'm looking forward to working with you for another 25 years. And for all of us to be working together to do the same kinds of things that Bernard White and White Construction have done to knit this community together and to move this community forward. So with Brother Beckham, we will say from the city of Detroit, this is a certificate of recognition. Want to read that out?
You'll make me read this.
Yes, sir. Yeah, can you read it? Okay, you want to read it?
Yeah, please. On behalf of its citizens, I, Michael E. Duggan, Mayor of the City of Detroit, congratulate W. Bernard White and White Construction, celebrating its 25th anniversary, and express best wishes for many more years to come. Signed by Mayor of the City of Detroit, Mike Duggan.
Congratulations.
Next up, we have Jewel Ware, the Wayne County Commissioner for District Number 2. Jewel.
Thank you. Let me say peace and blessings to everyone. And when I came in, I kind of looked for a written program. I didn't see one, so I said, I hope I don't follow an attorney or any priest. That's what I said, but anyway,
You got it.
again, to White Construction, to Mr. Bernard White and his family, let me say Godspeed, because I know for 25 years, every day has not been easy. It has not been easy to lead a construction company. There have been good days and there have been bad days, but you have done an excellent job. You have not only practiced, you preach, you have been a good teacher, and we appreciate you in this city and in Wayne County. So I am just simply here today to say congratulations and thank you on behalf of the 2 million people that live in Wayne County. So thank you for all that you do, your healthcare projects, your projects that you have, your educational projects, your training. Your training is most important, as Woody said earlier. It's not only what you do, but it's what you pass on so that you will have legacy here that can speak to White Construction. So thank you for all that you do.
That's great. Jewel said one L per name. That's my mistake, too. Next up, we have Dr. Verinder Mukdil, who's the president and CEO for Lawrence Technological University. Doctor?
Thank you, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard so much about the professional success of Bernard White. But maybe I could give you a glimpse of his brightness as a student, because we are so proud that our graduate has done so well in the community that he belongs to and in the area that is growing, partly because of his effort and people like him who are entrepreneurs, who are innovators, and don't wait others to help them. They make things happen. We're so proud of that. Bernard is a cum laude, the highest honor a student gets. Phi Theta Pi. Another very startling achievement was engineering professional license. Soon after he graduated. That doesn't happen easily. People take a long time to receive that. That shows that his intrinsic ability was there to start with. And what he did after graduation, he put the best he had to use. And I think if Detroit is resurging in its glory, it is because of Bernard and colleagues like him who are innovative entrepreneurs. And his influence on education, which is the future of this country, is so enormous. For example, at our campus, he's a role model. When I go and speak with parents and students, I give this example. That this is what you can do with honors tech degree. and his personal demeanor, his stability. Well, ladies and gentlemen, nothing lasts for 25 years in this country anymore. And that including personal relationships. But to have a company that goes through ups and downs and has such a strong leader with an ethical leader, somebody who's admired, who has all the credentials, the brightness, I think it helps us to honor him with the tribute that we pay to him today. For our students, we talk about how to start a company, how to stay with it, and what you need to be getting there. So for us, he's a role model. We're very proud of him. And many things that you'll see happening are going to be intertwined with Lawrence Tech history. Now, when great Henry Ford in 1932 started the Ford LIT, which was Lawrence Institute of Technology, which is what we were called at that time, the creation of middle class in America by raising the wages to $5 a day. In addition, he wanted men and women to have education, so they didn't simply put the tire on the shaft of the car, but they had education. That's how we started Highland Park in 1932. And if he's looking down, he should be very proud that the institution he put on Model T plant is now producing leaders.
25 years, well, it's quite an accomplishment. Bernard called me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I would come up here and do a little roast with him. I was a little reluctant. He said, you can say anything you want as long as you keep it clean. So I can do that. So let me start off. Fornication. For an occasion such as this. I thought it would be fitting to start off with a little history of myself and Willie White. Yes, Willie. He's going to kill me for this. But the W in front of Bernard is Willie. Now, let me tell you something. There's some famous. You've got Willie Nelson, you've got Willie Mays, you've got Willie Horton, was Willie Stargell, Willie Robinson from the Duck Dynasty. You also have my favorite, Willy Wonka. You know, I think Bernard made the right decision back when he started a company to go by W. Bernard White. It's a much more distinguished name. I think he could have been successful any way he went. I think he made the right move on that. Bernard and I, we had a long journey together. We started out at the Detroit Water Department. We went to Lawrence Tech together. We went to Turner. And I went to work for him for a while at White Construction. It's probably over 40 years. I think it was 1973 when I met him about that time. And we're still friends today. At least we were when he asked me to do this speech. You know, I'm going to talk a little bit about Bernard when we were at LTU. Him and I would take the same classes. We were going head to head, and we were competing all the way through. I mean, it was really a competition. It was not just trying to get through the class. It was trying to beat Bernard in this. He beat me. I mean, it was pretty cutthroat for a little while. He did graduate, as was mentioned, as cum laude, which is quite an honor. I think you got to come up to a 3.7, 3-point average. I think it is
3.45.
Actually, I was a little higher than you. I was back in cum laude, so I did a lot on that one. And I always used to tease Bernard about him copying off of me during tests and stuff like that. He always denied it. But I tell you what, there was one test.
There's two sides to that story.
Yeah. There was one test of it that we took. And he not only got the same answers that I had, and got the same grade, but he also copied my name on the top of the page. I was probably the first person at LTU to get 180% on a 100% average test. No, just kidding, Bernard. It really, I think our competition drove us both to reach higher heights over there. It worked out well for us both. I want to tell you a little bit about Bernard that maybe a lot of you don't know. Bernard is a little frugal. He's cheap. You know, you've heard the expression saving for a rainy day. Bernard is saving for a rainy century. You know, and he's also not bald. he shaves his head just so he can save on shampoo and haircuts. True story. I got invited to his house one time for a party, bring your own booze. I got there, it was also bring your own ice. There you go. You know, he's great in business, I'm going to tell you right now. Anything he does has been successful, and I really admire him for that. He's a control freak, that's what people say. And it's not true as long as you do exactly what he says. And he has two rules that he follows. The first rule is, I'm always right. People know. The second rule is, if you think I'm wrong, refer to rule 1. He's good. He's very good at that. You know, he's as good as he is in business. You know, he wasn't the most literate individual. I remember one time when we were going to school, and I was reading a book, it was Moby Dick. And he walked over to me and thought I was reading a book about some kind of venereal disease. You know, I can honestly say Bernard is a very unique person, and they broke the mold after they made him. And just to play it safe, they tracked down the guy who made the mold and shot him. You know, he's the kind of guy that you know, never talks about you behind your back. He really doesn't. He'll stab you in the back, but he'll never talk about you behind your back. So, you know, I've known him for a long time. I really do. And I'll tell you what, I can say he was arrogant and obnoxious, but he's the complete opposite right now. I mean, he's obnoxious and arrogant right now. You know, and I can still remember going back to the very first time that I met him, you know, and I'm just hoping that therapy will help me erase that memory. Now, I'd like to just conclude over here to say, Bernard, it's been great working with you, great to know you as a friend, and like the toast, I say you're a really special, in a living kind of way. Congratulate you on 25 years.
All right, now we're going to hear from Bernard. Wow. So, 25 years ago, Bernard made a decision. He made a decision that would change not only his life, but the lives of many families in this area. I know from talking with Bernard, he doesn't understand or comprehend that he's affected families and an entire community just by his business. This decision, he had to weather storms, he had ups and downs, he had to build this business, and it was not always easy and nice. But despite all the challenges, I now present a man who has enjoyed his journey, that has brought many accolades. Accolades too many for me to name. Ladies and gentlemen, Bernard White.
Thanks, Michael, and let me say thanks to all the senators here this evening. I'm really overwhelmed with the outpouring spirit of support and accolades and congratulations. I've gotten emails, letters, text messages, and we've been in the press a little bit maybe over the last couple of years, and folks have just really been supporting us in a big way. And I'm just touched. So thank you guys so much for coming out this evening to help support us in our 25 years. I must say that Bob Coed didn't tell you that we were very competitive, but I beat him passing the professional engineer's license. I got that before he got his. I snuck and took the exam. I didn't really know. When he found out I had passed, he was upset with me. So he didn't share that part. But no, Bob was a lot of fun in college together, working together, and we've just been really good friends sometimes he didn't know the answer, I had the answer. Sometimes he didn't have the answer, he had it. So we just really supported each other and took each other through school. I'd like to thank the Creator for, giving me the strength and the knowledge and just opening so many doors of opportunity for me. I'd like to thank all the elected officials again for doing the proclamations that are here tonight. I'm not going to be able to thank everybody publicly, but I just want everybody to know that I really appreciate it. I want to thank all of our clients, existing, past, and future. Hopefully we'll continue this over the years. I'd like to thank all of our former and existing white construction staff. It's important that everybody knows, even though I'm up here receiving the accolades, I couldn't have done all this over the last 25 years without so much help from so many different people. I'd like to thank all my family and friends for being here this evening. My father, Willie White, is here. I think I saw him unless he moved it around, but that's where I got that name from, Willie White. And I was called Willie White all the way through high school, all the way through college, and when I decided to go work for Turner, I think I changed it to W. Bernard White, so I could kind of get more interviews and stuff like that. This worked out well, but I always think sometimes I might want to go back to Willie to show everybody that Willie did pretty good. My mother's no longer here, she passed last year, so she did make it to our 20th anniversary, and I was so happy that she was able to see that. I want to talk about maybe, how we got started and how Bernard White and White Construction got here, if you will. The first thing that comes to my mind is my grandmother, Rosa Smith. And some of you guys may have heard the story that when I was in high school, going to Chassey High School, before I caught 2 buses to Chassey, she would get up in the morning prior to 6 a.m. in the morning and make me a full breakfast, bacon, eggs, toast, grits, maybe a glass of orange juice. So we would sit down for at least 45 minutes to an hour every day and just talk. And she would spend time talking to me about what life was like with her, for her as a young girl growing up in South Carolina, what her father's life was like. And I just got great history lessons as to what life was like. And she really inspired me. She graduated from Clinton College in South Carolina, which is a black college. It's closed down now, but she was a very intelligent lady. But one of the things that stuck me is she would always kind of get into the conversation that if you go to school and get a great education and work really hard, when you get to be a man, you can have anything you want. You have any kind of house you want, any kind of car you want. And she said, I can't do a whole lot for you, but if you just go and work hard, you'll do real well. And because I trusted my grandmother's intelligence and her integrity, I did just that, and I really wanted to live up to her dream of me. So she was a big influence on my life. I went to Chassey High School. I took up drafting, did really well there, and I was able to get a drafting co-op aid job at the Detroit Water Sewage back in 1972. Yep, that's a long time ago. And I graduated in 1973 and became a draftsman. And while at the water department, I saw that everybody that was doing well were engineers, so that's why I kind of slid into engineering. And I took construction engineering up kind of because at the time, Lawrence Technological University was offering construction engineering, and everybody at the water department were civil engineers, but that was real close. So we took construction engineering, and I finally graduated in 1980. As Dr. Margill suggested, I graduated cum laude with honors, and I did really well. I struggled at first getting out of high school, but I did really well with that. And upon graduating in 1980, I got a job with Turner Construction Company in 1981. And I worked on projects such as Pole Town, Cobo Hall, the first Cobo Hall expansion in 1986, Trappers Alley Marketplace. I even coordinated the Joe Louis Fisk pad and the erection of that, so I got a lot of great experience there. I started White Construction July 31st, 25 years ago today. It was on a Monday, and I opened my doors. I had a desk, a phone, and a computer. And that was it. I had no job in hand. I had some prospects, but I had no job in hand. It was really just a leap of faith. And I look back and just say, well, if I was more intelligent, I would have never done that. And I'd like to just talk about some of the things that I think created opportunities for me, and I want to be very candid about it. I think when Mayor Coleman Young was the mayor, he had the Shelter Market Program, also known as Ordinance 559H, and that created a lot of great opportunities for African-American businesses, Detroit business, and that really opened up a lot of doors. And we had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of great work. I see former Mayor Archer here. Former Mayor Archer, his administration continued that program and really helped us continue to succeed. Under his administration, we worked on projects such as Campus Marshall's Park, Comerica Park, the temporary MGM casino. We did numerous projects at the Detroit Zoo. So I can't thank these two administrations for creating so many opportunities for me. One of the things that Mayor Archer did that I really appreciated, when he would go to functions and he would talk publicly, if he saw me in the audience, he would point me out and say, hey, Bernard White is here with White Construction. He's doing great work at the zoo, or he's doing great work here. And you guys should try to look him up and try to work with him if you can. He did that several times, and I was really appreciative of that, because people look at you and say, wow, the mayor is really supporting like that, and it made me feel good. In fact, he would come to our office Christmas parties and just grace the party and walk around, and that was really huge. Thank you very much, Mayor Ross. I appreciate that. Like I said, Mayor Dave Bing, of course, this administration suffered through the financial crisis that the city of Detroit was going through, but we were able to do the Detroit Public Safety Headquarters for the fire and police. That was a great opportunity. And I must also say that Mayor Duggan, I don't think he made it here tonight, but Mayor Duggan, during his tenure at DMC, one of the things he did with Vanguard and all the expansion of the great hospitals and healthcare services they were providing, he had a lot of, he mandated that we would have black contractors at the prime level. We had Detroit and Wayne County subcontractors at the subcontractor level. He also mandated that we have Wayne County and Detroit residents on those projects, and they were very serious about that. You had to meet those goals. So I commend and thank Mayor Duggan for that, and I hope and believe that he's going to continue that during his administration as mayor of Detroit. I've had numerous joint venture partners. Some of the projects that you might be familiar with are particularly the really large projects that most folks remember, and a lot of times we do joint venture on those projects, but it's important that everybody know that we can do a lot of work on our own as a solo project. And just so you know, I have my controller tell me the numbers, and we've completed over $282 million of work on a solo basis in our 25-year history. So it's important that everybody understands that. I'd like to invite my existing and my former White Construction staff up to the podium to me, up here with me if you could. So if you guys can just make your way up to the podium and stand with me. All my former and existing White Construction staff, just want you to stand with me if you will. Moving him, if you will, to start moving to the next level, and as I get older, if something happens to me, he can take it on. And this is my nephew, Milton Jennings, and I just promoted him to Deputy Business Development Manager. He's been with White Construction since 1997. He called me up and said, Uncle B, can I have a summer job? And I gave him a summer job, and it's just been a long summer. You know, he's a graduate of Eastern Michigan University. He's worked really hard. This guy does anything I ask him to do. He just gets right on it, and I appreciate him. And if you get to know him, he's a real nice, personable guy. He's a big guy, but he's a real nice, gentle giant. So he's going to help us with our business development. So I'd like to ask you to put your arms around them and support them as they try to move forward, just as you have done with myself and White Construction over the last 25 years. And I want to say, if I forgot to acknowledge someone or say the right thing, charge that to my head, but not to my heart, because there's a lot of people, and everybody here is important to me. I just want to say a few things. They come and have to hurry up and shut up. And lastly but not least, you know, it's one of the sayings that I like is success is a journey, not a destination. We really enjoyed the journey, and I hope the journey continues. So thanks again for all of you guys coming out tonight to support us. Appreciate it.
Everybody hear me? I want to do a small toast. If everyone can get these glasses and around. Very small, I know. I really appreciate everybody coming out, as my father said, whether you be a client, customer, current, past, future employee. It's been a great journey, and as my father said, he said I started in 2001, but the journey for me started a long time ago.
would, obviously, he used to bring me down on Saturdays to clean the office. And he would pay attention to the details, which is why I think he continued to strive for 25 years. We do small things like, vacuum, take out the trash, or empty, and we go out and vacuum and say, oh, there's a paper clip over, or there's a staple on the floor. You didn't get that one. Okay, you go get it. Then you go back to the office, you come back out again. You say, oh, did you go behind the desk? Did you pull up the carpet? Did you move the desk? I like, goodness, I know you had to do that. But it was attention to that detail. And after I listened to him and you did the office, it felt really good that the office is clean. And I'm pretty sure you employees said, oh yeah, who cleaned this office? It was this guy saying, hey, go do this, go do that. But it's that value that he's installed in me throughout my life. And I just want to say, I really appreciate it. All the clients, customers, they really appreciate it because you pay attention to the details and you do what you say you're going to do. And you get it done when you say you're going to do it, when it was going to be done, and how much it's going to be done. And I think that's why they continue to come back, continue to talk about you, and you get all these accolades because of those reasons. So if everyone has a glass, I would like to make a toast to my father, Bernard White, White Construction. Like I said, all the clients, customers, to past and current employees. It's been a great ride, and as he's built it from the ground up, we're going to continue to let this journey, as he said, go on for 25 and more years. To you, Bernard, and White Construction. Here. Thank you. Thank you.